Imagine cruising over a bridge, radio playing, admiring the serene water below. Suddenly, the bridge shakes, subtly at first, then violently. In an instant, the marvel of engineering beneath you gives way, plunging you toward the icy cold water. Welcome to Disaster Watchers. Today, we're exploring the harrowing world of bridge collapses, from the iconic Tacoma Narrows to the just-occurred Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge. We delve into the moments of destruction and the urgent lessons learned to prevent future tragedies. Stay with us as we navigate through these dramatic footage of nature's force and the fragility of human ingenuity. 1. Baltimore, USA, Francis Scott Key Bridge. In an event that sent shockwaves through the heart of Maryland, the 2.6 kilometers Baltimore Key Bridge, a linchpin in the daily commute of thousands, met a terrifying fate on the 26th of March, 2024. This tragedy is still unfolding, so casualties are still to be determined. Footage, now viral, paints a harrowing picture. 1:30 a.m., a 948-feet shipping container plunged headfirst into the bridge. In a matter of seconds, the bridge twisted and then succumbed, plunging into the waters below. The immediate aftermath shows no one on board the ship hurt and all accounted for, but this bridge, built in 1977, will create a lot of issues for those in the surrounding area as it is a vital artery for the Port of Baltimore.
Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after a container ship, a 1,000-foot container ship, collided with the base of the bridge, collapsing the bridge in just a matter of seconds.
We expect the aftermath to cost in the hundreds of millions of dollars. In the wake of this tragedy, we're reminded of the delicate balance between how strong these engineering marvels are and then the fragility of them when collisions like this occur. 2. Tacoma Narrows, Washington, Galloping Gertie Bridge. Dubbed Galloping Gertie, this bridge was once the pride of Washington State, the third longest suspension bridge in the world at its completion. But its design, a slender path suspended by cables, made it susceptible to the Earth's whispers, or in this case, its roars. Engineers hadn't fully understood or respected the power of wind on large structures, leading to a catastrophic oversight. On that fateful day, with winds howling at 42 miles per hour, Gertie began her deadly dance. Footage from the scene shows the bridge in a twist of steel and concrete, bending in ways that defy logic, before succumbing to the forces tearing at its very fabric. The bridge writhed and twisted until it could no longer bear the invisible, relentless pressure of the wind, ultimately collapsing into the icy waters below. Miraculously, human casualties were avoided, save for a single tragic loss: a dog trapped in a car, a silent witness to the disaster. The collapse wasn't just a spectacle of engineering failure. It was a stark, fatal reminder of nature's unpredictable power. The fallout was immediate and profound. The collapse of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge served as a wake-up call to the engineering world, fundamentally changing how bridges were designed forever. It underscored the importance of accounting for aerodynamic forces, leading to safer, more resilient structures that could stand firm against nature's whims. 3. Genoa, Italy, the Morandi Bridge. Next up, we're heading to Italy, where a sunny day turned dark in the blink of an eye. The Morandi Bridge in Genoa, a busy stretch of concrete and steel, suddenly crashed to the ground in August 2018. This wasn't just any bridge. It was a vital artery for the city, packed with cars and trucks every day. Caught on camera, the moment of collapse sends chills down your spine. Surveillance and bystander videos show the bridge giving way, falling like a house of cards. It's hard to watch, knowing each vehicle represents families, stories, and lives abruptly interrupted. The aftermath was a city in shock. Italy mourned, facing a harsh reality check on the state of its infrastructure. The Morandi Bridge wasn't just old. It was a warning sign we all missed. It was a ticking time bomb that claimed 43 lives that day. But from this tragedy sprang action. Italy, and indeed the world, woke up to the critical need for looking after what we've built. The Morandi collapse wasn't just about a failure of concrete and steel. It was a lesson in responsibility. 4. Minneapolis USA I-35W Mississippi River Bridge. Our story takes us to Minneapolis on a bustling summer afternoon in August 2007. The I-35W Mississippi River Bridge, packed with cars and people just trying to get home or to the ball game, did something no one saw coming. It fell. In those critical moments, captured on security and traffic cameras, the bridge buckled and collapsed, sending over 100 vehicles plunging into the river below. Watching the footage, you can't help but hold your breath. It's a sudden, stark moment where everything changes. The bridge, a daily route for thousands, turned into a disaster site in seconds, underscoring how quickly everyday life can be upended. The fallout from this catastrophe was massive. 13 lives were lost and over 100 more were injured, sparking a wave of grief and questioning across the nation. How could a bridge so integral to Minneapolis just collapse during rush hour? Similar to our last bridge in Italy, this deadly collapse became a wake-up call for America. It wasn't just about a single bridge. It was about taking a hard look at the state of our country's infrastructure and the cost to lives in the economy for not maintaining it, as the aftermath cost an estimated $234 million, an extortionate amount. 5. East Kalimantan, Indonesia, the Kutai Kartanegara Bridge. In the heart of Indonesia's East Kalimantan, the Kutai Kartanegara Bridge connected not just two riverbanks, but the lives and hopes of thousands. That connection was severed in November 2011 when this critical lifeline collapsed into the Mahakam River, leaving a community in disbelief and mourning. This tragedy struck without warning. The bridge, a symbol of progress and connectivity for the region, had been a busy thoroughfare for locals. But in an instant, captured on camera by onlookers, it twisted and fell. The footage is startling. Vehicles abruptly stopping at the brink, and the once sturdy structure now a twisted wreck in the murky river below. The collapse wasn't just a physical disaster, it was a profound shock to the community's heart. Lives were lost and many were injured, casting a shadow over the region's spirit. In the immediate aftermath, the focus was on rescue and recovery, pulling survivors from the water and accounting for the missing. It was a grim reminder of how quickly tragedy could strike, shaking the trust in what was believed to be safe. Investigations pointed to a mix of factors: construction flaws, lack of maintenance, and possibly the additional weight and stress on the bridge not accounted for in its original design. This disaster was a wake-up call, highlighting the urgent need for stringent oversight and regular maintenance of infrastructure, even in remote regions. 6. Seoul, South Korea, the Seongsu Bridge. On a crisp October morning in 1994, Seoul witnessed one of its worst tragedies. The Seongsu Bridge, a vital artery connecting the city's eastern and northern districts, catastrophically collapsed, plunging vehicles and their occupants into the Han River below. This disaster was not just a failure of infrastructure, but a tragic event that left 32 people dead and 17 injured. Constructed in the late 1970s and opened to traffic in 1979, the Seongsu Bridge was a box girder bridge that spanned 1,160 meters, 3,806 feet, making it one of Seoul's key bridges. However, on that fateful day, a 48-meter, 157-foot section of the bridge gave way during the busy morning commute, revealing the deadly consequences of overlooked flaws and insufficient maintenance. Investigations into the collapse unveiled a series of critical oversights. The primary cause was identified as the improper welding of the steel trusses and the use of substandard construction materials during the bridge's construction. Further compounding the disaster was the lack of thorough inspections and maintenance that failed to catch these fatal errors before they led to catastrophe. 7. Belo Horizonte, Brazil, the overpass collapse. In July 2014, the city of Belo Horizonte in Brazil was struck by a devastating event when an overpass, still under construction, suddenly collapsed onto a busy highway below. This tragic incident occurred just days before the city was set to host a FIFA World Cup semifinal match, casting a shadow over the international event and bringing urgent attention to the country's infrastructure safety. The collapse resulted in 2 fatalities and 23 injuries, marking a somber moment in Brazil's recent history. The overpass, part of a broader urban mobility project intended to improve transportation infrastructure for the World Cup, was designed to ease traffic flow around the city. However, it came crashing down without warning, crushing vehicles beneath it, including a bus, several cars, and 2 trucks, highlighting the grave consequences of construction failures. The hurried pace to complete infrastructure projects in time for the World Cup was scrutinized, raising questions about the quality and safety of these hurriedly constructed structures and the true cost of hosting that World Cup for Brazil. The Belo Horizonte overpass collapse served as a stark reminder of the critical importance of adhering to strict engineering standards and regulatory oversight, and how cutting corners to meet a deadline does not pay off. And there we have it, a journey through moments that remind us of our vulnerabilities and the sheer power of the forces we sometimes contend with. From the heart of Italy to the bustling cities of Brazil and South Korea, these stories of bridge collapses not only highlight the tragic loss of life, but also the critical lessons learned in the aftermath. They remind us of the importance of diligence, oversight, and the never-ending quest for improvement in our infrastructure. To our Disaster Watchers community, thank you for joining us on this journey. Before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Disaster Watchers for more content that delves into the incredible, often challenging interactions between humanity and the planet we call home. Do you have thoughts, questions, or a disaster story that you think needs to be heard? Drop us a comment below.